Hi guys, I hope you had a good week and we're here on the weekend. It's podcasting time. You may notice that there is no video footage. That's because my camera roll is full. I have 28 minutes of recording time and that's not enough for what is supposed to be an hour podcast. Um, and you might just be saying, Hannah, make space. No, because the things that are on there are valuable. I can't just be deleting them. And how are they valuable? You're about to find out. But the point is, the solution, I'm on a schedule, guys, and now's the time to record. I don't have time to fix that situation and still come and record. It's not happening. So we're just gonna have no video today. But don't worry, my beautiful voice will guide you. I will guide you through the experience. And half of you are probably doing dishes while you're listening to this and not even looking anyways. So it's fine. Okay. We're going to be talking about my vacation, which is the reason why I have no space on my phone. And then again, there was things that I kind of talked about in the last podcast that came out, and I actually have a follow-up because I kind of had a moment where I was like, I feel like I saved a lot that I'm going to follow up with things and then I don't. But this time I am, because I'm a changed woman. That's what happens when you spend time here with me. You know, just me and Maril. Okay. Let's just start because I'm actually so excited still. That vacation high has not left. As a little bit because I was stressed. But I just watch videos from my trip and look at pictures and I'm just like, I take it back. So I don't know, I have to just move the photos off of my phone, but I want them on my phone because I want to be able to look at them. So I don't know, I got to find some sort of solution. So that's why I got no space on my phone and I don't want to make the space because I want the stuff that's on there to stay on there so I can look at it when I'm on break at work. And I want to fucking jump out the window and never go back to my job. Yeah. But where did I go? What did I do? I want to see if you can guess. You know, I don't really know if I've given off that much personality wise that would allow you to be like, oh, I feel like she would go here. But just think in your mind, where do you think I went? Okay, I went to Nashville, Tennessee. Um, and let me just say this: I don't fuck with country music that deep. Some of it, yeah, like the old school, like Johnny Cash, of course, or more of a bluegrass, where it's you start to see that soulfulness, those R&B remnants. That's the type of stuff I fuck with. No hate to Blake Shelton or anything like that, or Florida Georgia Line, but that's just not me. I can't do it. Can't do it. But I was actually there for a music festival. I don't know if anybody's heard of Bonnaroo, but I never heard of it. I saw it on Instagram and I was like, is this a scam? I don't know. But the breakdown, okay? There's 3 artists that I was supposed to see last year, but I couldn't. So I was supposed to see Matt Mason. He was supposed to open for Kaleo. They still had their show, but because it took 2 years for this concert to actually happen, because these were tickets I bought before COVID even happened, but the concert was supposed to take place during quarantine lockdown. So by the time the concert could actually happen, oh my god, I just saw another white butterfly. Okay, that's going to be important for save it in your little Mickey Mouse toolbox, guys, because we're going to be talking about butterflies. Crazy. But anyways, so the shows, they still had their show, but just Matt Mason couldn't open because of his schedule was obviously completely different because it had been 2 years. And then Fleet Foxes, I was supposed to see them, just only them, their concert. I don't know who the opener would have been. But then I got COVID, so I didn't go. And then I was also supposed to see Little Sims, but she canceled her North American half of her tour. So, you know, it was February. February, this trip has been in the works. I said it as a joke. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I could see all the 3 people this year that I was like supposed to see last year? But I was like, I don't know. I was just kind of like, what are the odds? And then I'm telling you, it was barely a week later, and I'm on Instagram and I see like the festival poster, and I zero in. What do I see? Matt Mason, Fleet Foxes on the same day. I was like, no fucking way. Um, so I look who else was there. Sampa the Great was going, Rina Sawayama, and Kendrick Lamar. I was like, I'm in. So I bought my ticket. After I checked, I was like, is this even a real festival? Because I literally had never heard of Bonnaroo, but apparently it's huge. They call it like the like Coachella for the South, that type of shit. So it's actually really a big festival. So it's a 3-day thing. It's a camping type of festival, but I was like, I'm not doing all that. So I just went for the one day because everybody I wanted to see was on the same day. And then tell me how when the schedule eventually came out, nobody was playing at the same time. And I did see everybody I wanted to see. There was no schedule changes ended up happening. So like, in case you were wondering if the universe wanted me to go, like that's your answer. Because what are the odds that everybody I wanted to see was on the same day and not playing at the same time? It was great. It was great. So I flew in on the Thursday, early morning. So it's like 8 a.m. I'm already in Nashville, but on the Thursday. So I just decided to check it out, check around, see what's going on in Nashville. Um, Within Nashville itself, I knew that I was like festivals, they aren't cheap. So I only was like, I had 2 things that I actually really wanted to do. One, I wanted to see the Parthenon. Two, I wanted some hot chicken, both of which were very successful missions. Okay. So the Parthenon, you might be saying to yourself, Hannah, you're in Nashville. You're not in Athens, Greece. What are you talking about? Okay. Well, for my Percy Jackson fans, okay, and if I'm reaching the right target audience, there should be a lot of Percy Jackson fans up in this beach. Okay. But if anybody remembers the Percy Jackson movies, they went the whole movie, even though it's about like the descendants of Greek gods, it takes place in America in places that are like Greek themed. So they ended up in like Vegas because obviously there's all the replicas. I can't even remember the other places. But one of them was the replica of the Parthenon that's in Nashville. So I was like, I have to go. And they had stuff from the like props from the movie. So the only reason they were going to these places is because they had to get these little pearls so they could get into Hades' like underworld layer. So they had the pearl and the dart gun that Annabeth used to knock out the guards and in the movie. It was great. They didn't have a Hydra there. That was a little bit sad. But still, just to be there, I was like, this is my movie moment. Like, I was like, I was doing a whole photo shoot. I was so, I was like, I brought my tripod too. I ended like, people were nice enough to take photos like for me when they saw me, like trying to do like a little selfie type of shit. But I was like, I was just so happy to be there. And that, it is gorgeous. So I'm going to share with you the history because like, I just think it's exciting. Okay. So Nashville at the time when Nashville joined, no, Tennessee, sorry, Tennessee's the state. So Tennessee, I think was, don't quote me on this, okay, maybe, let me look it up. I'm on my laptop actually, because I'm about to tell you a story, and maybe I should tell you the truth. 12 states to join the U.S. Because I think it was Tennessee. Oh, they weren't. What the fuck? Okay, I could have swore because the tour guide, was saying that Tennessee was the 12th state to join. Okay, I don't know. But whatever. The point is, Tennessee joined up with the rest of the other states. At the time, they were considered the West because it hadn't gone as far out as it does now. Like those other states hadn't joined. So they were considered the Athens of the West, which is now the South, because they were like Nashville was a center for arts and education, similar to how Athens was. So they had a world fair a couple years later, and Nashville was like, we this is what we want to be known for. So we got to double down. Let's make a replica of the Parthenon so that people, this is us. We're the center for arts and culture. Um, so they made it out of wood and plaster. It was only supposed to stand for 6 months. I think they said that I don't even know how many millions of people came to see it, but basically the whole state, the amount came out to see this thing. And then it was still standing years later, even though it wasn't supposed to. And eventually they were like, you know what, why don't we fix this up? So they replaced it piece by piece with actual materials, and they were in contact with the actual people who worked at the actual Parthenon site in Athens, just to make sure everything was as accurate as possible. So they get the outside. I don't even remember, but it took them a couple years, more than 10 years to get the actual statue of Athena inside. And then another 12 years to get the gold and the color on the statue. Because they it's all through fundraising and private funding. None of it was done with taxpayer dollars. And I think the city of Nashville owns the site, the Parthenon site, not the actual state of Tennessee. So it was just really interesting to hear that, and just the amount of effort that went into this. It was obviously, I love passion. I know this sounds like a weird thing to say, but I don't care what it is for. I just love when people are excited about something and just give a shit enough to make sure that it's quality and take the time for things. And I feel you could just really tell that was the case with this. And then they also had so on the outside of the Parthenon, they have the story of Athena, her origin story, and then they have sculpture wall for the story of how the city of Athens was even named after her. So they had, it was two American sculptors that had made them. So they had some of their sample sculptures that they had made when they were just kind of testing out materials to see what would be best. Obviously the statue itself, it is giant. I knew that, but it was crazy to see it in real life. I just sat there staring at that statue for so long. I was like, damn, Athena. And then they also had an art gallery in there, which I didn't know. So it was most of the pieces in there is from a private collection that was donated, and it's all American artists. And then they have changing exhibits that again is just to showcase American artists. And it was just gorgeous. Some of the brushwork was just so well blended. It just looks like a photograph. And obviously you could see some of the cracks in the painting, but that's just these were done in the 1800s, 1900s. That just is what happens through time. But just a great experience, honestly. And I spent most of my time there. I was I loved it. So if you ever go to Nashville, go to see the damn Parthenon. I know everyone's downtown, the barns, blah, 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 blah. No. Have your Percy Jackson moment and go to the damn Parthenon. Okay? Up next, the hot chicken. It was good. It was great. Listen, I had Hattie B's and Princess, if I remember the name correctly. So Princess is supposed to be the originator of the hot chicken, and then Hattie's is just another chain that is really popular. So they're kind of I don't know how deep they're pitted against each other rivalry wise. But when I was just looking up places to get hot chicken, those two were always top three of choices for people. So I tried them both. I would put Hattie's over Princess. I feel for Hattie's, what I got there is I got one kind of leg thigh piece. I got medium for both, medium hot for both, because I was I can handle my spice, but just in case, I'm not trying to be fucked up my whole trip because I can't taste because it's my mouth is burning. So I got medium, and then at Hattie's, I got the collard greens and the potato salad. But it was more mashed potato-y. but I enjoyed it. It's exactly what I needed to like cool down my mouth. The collard greens was also good, but like I never had it and I didn't know like what went in it. I just knew it was Korean. So I was like, let's try it. It's a classic. So I didn't know there was bacon in there till I got it. I don't mind, but the taste was just so meaty. It was like gravy in a weird way. I was like, these are supposed to be greens. Like, I don't know. So in the Caribbean, there's a dish called callaloo, which is just like callaloo is like a leafy green, if you want to call it like that. So that's in there, and then some other like leafy green vegetables, and you just blend it all up, and that's like a side dish. So that's kind of what I was more expecting, but because there's no meat in it, it does taste like the greens that are in it. So that's what I was expecting from collard greens. That's not what I got. It was still yummy though. But with Hattie's, I felt like the chicken, it was like, I think they marinated that bitch because there was flavor on like the breading. It was nice and crispy, but the chicken itself was also juicy. Whereas with Princess, I got their fries and their mac and cheese. The fries, I hate crinkle cut fries. So for that reason alone, I couldn't call them good fries. But their mac and cheese, it was good. Like it was like it's fast food mac and cheese. It's giving like I don't know if you guys have had the Popeyes mac and cheese, but it's like that but less watery. Um, but the chicken, the coating, I felt like was just like the seasoning was just on the outside. Yeah, inside chicken was good, but when I compare it to what I had earlier that morning, it's not winning. So that's my opinion. I also had Shake Shack. Those shakes are good. I love a good strawberry milkshake. Um, and then I got the regular burger and then their cheese fries. Their cheese fries were also really good, but they had again those crinkle cut fries. I don't know what it is about the shape, but I just think it makes them taste bad. Like I don't know what it is. They just never get as crispy as like straight cut fries, and you can tell. And the shape of them also is like I don't know. It just triggers like a primal part of me. I hate it. I don't enjoy it at all, and I just don't even know why people would serve them. That's not my business. My whole family likes crinkle cut fries, so it's like it's tough out here being the black sheep in your family. Like, yeah, okay. Um, but other than that, like it was just really cool to be downtown and kind of see like the themed stores and like storefronts and just like hear the live music, even though it was music that I'm like getting down to like that. And also, I've never seen so many like cowboy boots and hats in my entire life. And just the fact that every store had different stuff, I was like, how many designers y'all got out here? Because nothing, no store has the same inventory. It's crazy. I also touched python skin because they had boots that were made out of real python skin. Snakes, dried snake, any dried shedding of reptiles. I don't love it. The feel is thumbs down. But obviously, like you're wearing them on your feet, you're not going to be feeling them. I was just touching stuff up in the fucking store. Um, and they also had ostrich skin for boots. Again, didn't love how they felt. I don't know, like, ugh, you know? So there was that. And then I went to a hotel and then I woke up early and I went to the festival. I took an Uber. And also, I want to say, like, listen, the universe had my back because they normally have a shuttle. They didn't have a shuttle this year. Or if they did, people were saying that it was only until 8 p.m., that it left at 8 p.m. And if I left 8 p.m., I would have missed 3 acts. What the fuck? You have music going on until 3 a.m. What do you mean your shuttle comes at 8 p.m.? That's ridiculous. That's not my business. But yeah, they were saying no shuttles, no shuttles, and I get there, and some people were saying that they did, some people were saying they didn't. But the point is, like, I already knew that I had to figure out how to get myself there, and a lot of the ride options, people were saying $100 just to get there, not even to get back. But I ended up paying less than that, like $10 to $15 less, but still that's 10 to 15 US dollars in my Canadian pocket. So I'm not going to complain. So I get my ride there early. Um, I actually ended up, my older sister, one of her friends knows someone else who goes to Bonnaroo every year. So I ended up meeting up with her because when I got this ticket in February, I didn't know anybody that was going. So I was about to be free balling, running around by myself. Not that I was worried about that, but still, like, it was nice just to know that I knew somebody, like, I had somebody to meet up with. Because it's always like a fear, like, if something should go wrong and you're so far away from home and you don't know the area. So yeah, I ended up getting her Instagram. We ended up meeting up. It was great. Like, she is like a real professional. She's been going since 2013. And I feel like I got the full experience. So, and she said that at least the lineup for Friday, there's nobody that she was like really, really wanted to see. So sometimes we did split up, but for the most part, she was like a tour guide and like taking my pictures for me. And I was like, thank you so much. Like, so cute, so sweet. Um, Yeah. So like everybody I was going for, I love them. I know all of their songs. So just to hear them live is automatically like a 10 out of 10 experience. So I saw Sampa the Great first. Just great to see. She had her little sister there for doing like backup vocals. I thought that was really fun. And then I saw Matt Mason. His stuff is like emotional because he like just like his like so why am I drawing a blank? I'm like so excited. My brain is like skipping. I'm like, oh my god! And then the fuck, the stuff that he sings about, it can be like pretty heavy subject matter. But I felt like his like it didn't bring down my energy at all. So that's what I like about Matt Mason is that like even though he is singing about heavy subject matter, it kind of is like he will have beats that are still very danceable. So I'm still just like, even though he's singing about like his fucking struggles with addiction. I'm just like, I hope you have a good support system. To the left, to the right, you know? And then he played one of his new songs. I was like, I felt so fucking VIP because tell me why 3 days ago he is actually putting out the song now. He put out a little teaser for his song. So I've already heard the whole song. I know what it sounds like. But nobody else has heard it unless you were at Bonnaroo or you fucking looked up the video. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I already heard the song. It was a great experience, and I can't wait till he actually puts out the song so I can listen to it again because I've just been replaying it in my mind off memory. So that was really cool. I saw Rena. She's actually coming to Toronto in the fall, but I could not get her tickets because I already spent my money to see who's here. So I'm glad that I still, I got to see her anyways. And Rena is the definition of for the gays. I was loving her set. She has one that's Feel Like a Woman by Shania Twain. One of her songs has a beat that's like that, which is iconic. Like the outfit changes, the dancing, the skits that were like leading into the next songs, like everything was just very well thought out. Loved it. And then I saw Fleet Foxes after an experience. It was transformative. I, first of all, I don't know, I'm going to see them live again. I don't know what it would take, but I'm about to be up in there. There were songs that I wanted to hear. I didn't hear one of them, but it was okay because, like, again, I have been rocking with them for a long time, same with everyone else that I mentioned. So I love every single song. I love them. But I was so like, oh my God, I want to hear this one song. I want to hear this one song. So when they started playing their other songs, it was like a shock. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this song. I love this song. Like, it was so good. So good. Like, I was screaming. I was going wild in that tent. Okay. But just like the quality of it, like I feel like for Fleet Foxes, in order to create like the melodies and the harmonies, a lot of work goes into it. Everybody that was up there was on vocals. From the drummer, they had to like everybody was on vocals. There was 3 different people playing guitar, different types of guitar. I didn't even know there was that many types of guitar. Every song they're switching guitars. The one guy was like on this like weird little keyboard thing and drums. The second guy, who I think he was mainly playing bass, he was carrying those backup vocals. They all contributed, but he was like the vocal star. I was like, damn. The one guy was guitar and a saxophone, and they had 2 trumpet players and one of the trumpet players switched out for a flute. Like, I'm just telling you, like, effort, passion. You can tell they gave a fuck, and this was well practiced because the way that it was, like, the song's done, they're just switching their next onto their next instruments quick. I was like, damn, it was just great. So I loved it. I would honestly have to give them best performance, but I love to see everybody. And then I saw Kendrick. I got up front. I got into the pit. I did it with help because a group was nice enough to adopt me and take me along with them. I was like, thank you. Because I would have never gotten this close. I lost my sunglasses in the process and I bought them for the trip. So I just really hope, because it was just like a little sunglass hut. So I'm like, please have another pair. Because I can see people, but people can't see my eyes. So I need that. I like the anonymity of it. I feel powerful and anonymous. Yeah, I didn't even realize. I got to the front, he came on, I'm dancing, Kendrick, wow! And then I look down and I'm like, wait a minute. Weren't your sunglasses there? Not anymore. But just like, obviously Kendrick is iconic. Money Tree, I've been here since then. So to hear like the classics, Mad City, up until like the newer stuff, I was like, yes. And then I think it was, don't quote me on this, I think it was Baby Keem. So he had a set before, but I was at Fleet Foxes, so I didn't hear it. But him and Kendrick, pretty sure they do that song together. I can't even. This is the thing. I know songs, but I never know artists. I never know who's in it. I don't know. I'm just here for vibes only. So Baby Keem came back out and they did some of their songs together. Yeah. And then I managed to get myself home. So the thing is, I was at that festival until like 3. No. So the music, oh, I saw Shaquille O'Neal. I saw his DJ set. I knew that he did DJ stuff. I didn't think he was that serious about it. But his DJ name is Diesel. Just so, that's great for him. But I had no idea. So I didn't know that he was going to be there because on the set list, whenever it said Diesel, I was like, okay, a DJ, that's cool. So I get there and the girl who I ended up meeting up with, she's like, oh, like we have to stay so we can see his set. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean Shaq's gonna be here? And she was like, oh, that's Diesel. And I was like, oh, of course it is. Like, and also like, I think we all are aware that this is a very tall guy, but holy fuck is he tall. Because when I tell you that I was not anywhere near that stage, and the way that I could see him so well from so far away, I was like, holy shit, this man is a giant. Like, I was in disbelief. Like, honestly, that was half the shock. Half the shock of the set is me, like, fully realizing how tall this bitch is. Crazy. His DJ set was good. It's very dubstep, which is not my thing. So I only stayed for like a half an hour, to be honest. And then so the girl who I met up with, she camps. So I just chilled at her camp until like around 5:30. And then I walked my ass all the way. Like, this place is huge because it's an hour outside of Nashville, like on a farm. So there's like center route. That's where the stage is and the music is. Outer route is like where all the camps are. And people like only with their tents, car in a tent, car camping, RV, bus, like people is serious. So it was a lot to walk through. So by the time I get out to the front gate where the actual cars can come up, I'm like waiting. Nobody's selecting my Uber ride. I'm nervous. One of the people drives up. They're just like a ride service, but there's like a town that's like an hour away that a lot of people are staying at. So he's only going to that town to the festival. That's it. But I need to get my ass to the airport because at this point in time, I have a 9:30 flight that I need to get my ass on so I can go home. And tell me why this guy's telling me, oh, there's an accident. The whole highway's closed. I don't even know. I think like a truck hit a car or something. Like, it was serious. And he was like, girl, if no one picks up your ride by 6:30, you should probably like change your flight. And I was like, don't say that to me. I need to go home. That was a lot in 2 days. Like I mentally, I was excited, but it was just like I was missioning those 2 days. So I was tired. I was at my limit. I said, I need to go. I'm done. But thankfully, this is what I'm saying. I managed to get a ride, and I got to the airport on time. I was holding my eyelids open, waiting for my flight to board. But I did get a little tater tot breakfast thingy while I was waiting, so that was very yummy. Um, yeah. I hope you guys are entertained because I'm now realizing how long I spent talking about this damn trip. But I just had so much fun. I really did. And like compared to the last trip I went on, this is a very like this is what I want when I say I want to travel. And these are the feelings that I'm trying to capture when they say like I like to be on flights. So one, I wasn't worried about anything. I wasn't worried about trying to get an Uber at 5 in the morning, and maybe I should have been because some people were like, "Girl, good luck trying to get an Uber," because like even though it is a festival and they know like people are going to need rides, most people camp. So realistically, a lot of Ubers don't feel it's worth it to go all the way out there because the chances of someone actually needing ride is like kind of slim. And then also the time as well. Most of the music starts like around 2 p.m. So most of the Ubers, that's when they're going to be there because they're going to be like dropping people off. I was there at 5:30 in the morning. Nobody's trying to leave this place at 6 in the damn morning. So I was very lucky to get an Uber ride home. But I just like put my trust in the universe. I was like, I don't give a fuck because if you are gonna align things to the point where like everybody's on the same day, nobody's playing at the same time, obviously you want me to be here, universe. So I'm not gonna worry about it. You're gonna get me there and you're gonna get me home. And you did. Like, what are the odds that my sister's friends know somebody that goes every year? Like, you know what I mean? So for me, just being able to like put that trust in the universe and just not worry because I just kept saying like it's going to work out. Obviously it's going to work out. I'm not getting all of these signs and all of these things aren't somehow aligning and working out for no reason. So that was just the most stress free I'd probably been in like 3 years or more. So then I get home and I feel like I did have a little bit of like a depression moment because I was flying high and then it was just like a straight drop down into like because I had to go to work. I came back on Saturday. I was at work on Sunday. I was like, what the fuck? It was a little bit of like a shock and not in a good way. So I feel like I definitely did have like I just laid in bed like for a week. I didn't talk to anybody. My sister's like, are you good? I'm like, no, like what is this? Like what am I doing here? I just went from having the time of my life to not. I need to adjust. So I feel like having that like very like stress free moment to come back, not to like saying that coming back to my everyday life was like very stress like it wasn't like end of the world stress. I've definitely had like worse stress periods in my life in my like day to day. But for me it was still just like damn. Like the fact that you're even this stressed in your everyday life, even if you've had worse, is still not cool. It's not great. And I feel like it really started to sit with me when, like I said, I was cloud nine, fuck that bitch. I'm cloud 15, cloud 30. To come back down to that, I was like, ugh. And this is not to say that like every day is going to be a movie. I don't mean that. But at the end of the day, I know that my day to day life does not have to make me feel as stressed as it does. And I know that because what was I not talking about in the last episode? That there are changes that I need to be making that I'm not fucking making. So this is what I mean when I say, like, this is me coming from a place of like, damn, bitch, you really live like this when you're aware that you don't have to be. Like, yeah. So before I continue on, I just want to clarify two things. Like, one, when I was talking about the accident that happened on the highway, I did not want to seem like me catching my flight was more important than like I don't know if there were any casualties in that accident or like accident in that accident or any serious injuries. So would it have sucked if I had missed my flight? It's yes, but it's not the end of the world. So I did just want to clarify that because I was thinking back and I was like, like, I just wanted to clarify because that's not the intention. That's not the vibe. I was just like, it honestly just more threw me through a loop than anything because I was not expecting to be told, like, the highway is closed. You literally might not be able to get to the airport. So, yeah, just wanted to say. And then also, I did say, like, oh, I had a bit of a depressed moment. I talk about mental illness very casually sometimes because I am mentally ill. But what I forget is that I don't know if everybody knows that. I don't really know if I've mentioned it. Even if I did were you present for that podcast episode? I don't know. But I am aware that, like, sometimes mental health is, like, romanticized or just kind of like, I don't know, like, a good word for it, but just kind of like used in situations where it shouldn't be used because it's not that serious. Um, so I just wanted to clarify that as well. Um, did I say that very casually and like LOL? Yes, but it was by no means like an LOL moment. Like this was this was like a serious and for real depression moment for me. Um, yeah. But anyways, I get back from my vacation. I have just had things align for me in ways that they haven't in a while. Like, I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but like, I'm a very, like, I don't know if spiritual is a good word for it, but just like, I don't know. I say this very cautiously because I feel like the second I say the word energy, immediately you guys have like um ideas in your head. And I get it because I'm also the same, but like I am still rooted in reality even when I talk about energies, okay? So, and to the people who aren't, no shade, no shade. Live your Delulu life. But that's not me. I feel like energies in the sense of like, I don't believe that we are just like physical bodies. So I feel like that's just like a good name for that like spirit, soul, whatever that is also a part of us. And I don't think that is something that's like a self-contained thing, if that makes sense. Like I feel like everybody or everything kind of gives off its own like energy. Atoms are always in a constant state of movement. So I feel like that itself is like, I don't know, energy, if you will. Um, but yeah, that's what I mean when I say like I'm like an energies person. I said it how many times in this podcast already. Like I do believe that the universe is a living and breathing entity on its own. And I also believe that that bitch has our backs. Um, I don't know. Yes, to a certain extent, like things are random, da 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 da. But in general, I feel like if you are like open to these messages or signs, or you're willing to like put in the work to like have the skills to be able to listen, I think that the universe will send you signs or will send you guidance if you ask for it and you're actually open to it. So that's why I genuinely believe that the universe does have our backs. Because why do that if you don't give a shit and everything is random? You know what I mean? And like I also believe this from personal experience because like the vacation was one of many experiences where I have felt like I was being sent signs and all of them have paid off or had been true. So that's why I believe it. I believe. Um, but I haven't felt like I feel like the universe has kind of been on silent mode with me, or like universe, or like I know some people say the word like spirit team, which is kind of like a different thing where it's kind of um like ancestors, if you will, that are kind of looking out for you. I also do believe that my ancestors are working hard for me. They are working hard for me out there, and they will send me help if I ask. And I listen too, because I can ask all the questions I want, but if I'm gonna, be in La La Land and ignore then I'm not going to see them. Um, so I've always been like a very like spiritual and just kind of like on the lookout, you know, for anything that maybe could be like a sign. And I feel like I know by feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like something in my body is like, you need to look more into this. Because personally for me, most of the time that I like if I ask a question or I'm just kind of saying like I want some comfort or some guidance, I'm just like kind of unsure about things. I kind of get messages either through like dreams and a lot of times like plants and animals. Um, yeah. So either I will just like keep seeing a plant or I will just see a flower and just be like drawn to it in a weird way, just kind of like I can't stop looking at it, or I just have like this urge where I'm like, I want to know more. I want to know like what type of flower it is, what is the meaning behind it. Um, yeah, or like I'll keep seeing animals in my day to day life, or I will be having a dream. And like the thing is with me is that most of the time, like I don't really remember my dreams. I think that's common for a lot of people. It's just like I'm aware that I'm going to sleep and then I'm just like darkness and I'm waking up. But when I do have dreams, I'm aware that I'm dreaming. And I've been like this since I was a kid. I've always been like aware that I am dreaming. So this is how like when I'm going through a dream and I will start to see like my last dream, I don't even remember what it was about. Like I was like a teacher or something. Like it was so strange, but I was given tiger lilies, orange tiger lilies. And I remember how I felt in the dream when I had gotten those flowers. And I feel like I'm able to kind of focus in on how I'm feeling because I'm aware that I'm even dreaming. So now when I wake up, I think back on my dream and I remember like how I felt when I had received those tiger lilies. I'm like, you know what? Let me go and look it up. And it was relevant because I had went to bed before and I had asked, I said, hey, like I have some decisions that I need to make and I'm feeling unsure. I feel like I kind of know what I want to do, which is XYZ. Is this right? Is this wrong? Can you send me a little something? And then I went to bed and I had that dream. And Tiger Lilies is literally about like, because the question I was asking had to do with like career wise. Um, and Tiger Lilies, especially orange ones, because I didn't look up for any of the other colors, but most of the time, like plants in general have a meaning, and then if there's like different types or different colors, then that can provide like additional information. And yeah, so with orange tiger lilies, it's about like I'm drawing a blank, like prosperity, confidence in yourself, financial gain, just kind of like you're sure of yourself, you're out there. And then orange in general is like liveliness, vitality, that type of thing. Which is exactly it. I was saying, like, I'm unsure. I don't know if I should put my effort into this. And I am getting sent a flower that is about liveliness and having confidence in yourself and prosperity. Could that be a coincidence? Maybe. But was it helpful? Yes. So at the end of the day, like, does it matter? Yes, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean when I say, like, I trust the universe because I be getting messages. I have never had an unanswered question. And the question that I had asked, that I the night before, like I went to bed and like had thinking about the tiger lilies, I had already asked that question. That was my third time. My third time asking the same fucking question and getting the same answer. Okay. So the universe is a patient one. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Um, I say that, but you know what's actually so funny is that I asked the same question 3 nights in a row. I went to bed and I said, hey. And then I had a dream about a tiger lily. And then I've been seeing the same butterfly, which we'll circle back. We'll circle back. But yeah, 3 days in a row, I'm getting the same answer because even that butterfly, same thing. Like butterflies in general are about like transformation and stages of transformation. Like you start out as your worm, and then you go into your chrysalis and then you come out as a butterfly. So I'm definitely in that stage where it's like I've put in the work for my transformation. You know what I'm saying? Do I have some things that I am still working on, as I've like previously kind of talked about? Yes, but that's life. But for the most part, I feel like I've kind of got my shit on lock in terms of like the things that I need to like have what I consider for myself a fulfilling life, what I need to not end up burnt out, um, just like stuff like that, or like what I want out of like my family relationship, friendships, romance, career, all that shit. So I feel like, and I've also been getting a lot of signs that I am kind of like, I'm out of my chrysalis period. I'm about to have my butterfly moment. So the fact that I keep being sent butterflies and then like I'm drawing a blank, but I don't know if this is the exact butterfly. This is just what it looks like. It looks like a brown Argus. I'm not a butterfly expert, but I was just trying to see if I could find out the type. Because it was like an all brown butterfly that had the tips of the wings were orange, but it was kind of like orange and black, like similar to kind of like a monarch butterfly's like orange and black pattern. Um, so when I was kind of looking that up, that butterfly is like the closest. So yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I've never seen a butterfly like that before. And the thing is, like every time I saw it, it was like the first time I saw it, it literally flew so close in front of my face that I like jerked back. And then again, every other time I saw it, it was crossing my path to fly like right in front of me. So it's not even like I'm un I have to look at it because it's flying in front of me. You know what I'm saying? That butterfly could have been flying anywhere. And also, I don't see butterflies regularly like that. That's the thing too. Like, I don't know what kind of meadows you guys are living in, but anytime I see a butterfly, it's always like a thing. It's like seeing a rainbow. Like, yes, I'm aware that they're out there, but I do not be seeing them in my day-to-day life like that. I feel like also again because like I'm the city, so I don't know. Maybe I need to get out to parks more, and then maybe these butterflies won't be so crazy to me. But yeah, like again, that butterfly could have been flying anywhere. And also, could it still be a coincidence? Maybe. Is it still helpful? Yes. So it doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't know. It's just something to think about. Um, I don't even remember where I was going to this, but I'm just curious, like, how do you guys feel? You know, like, are you a spiritual person? Do you believe that you can be kind of sent messages from the great beyond, if you will? If you communicate with ancestors, that type of thing. Um, yeah. So I don't know. I I feel like yes, it is something that has always been like a guiding thing in my life. But like it was honestly more so when I was a kid because as I started to get older and obviously life starts to just I don't want to say be more shitty, but like you know you start working and trying to go to school and then try to pay for school, and all of a sudden your like rainbow life fantasy is shattered. So that's when I kind of stopped having as much like faith that the universe was going to make everything work out for me because I was just like stressed all the time and just like in not great situations. And like, I was just kind of like, I don't want to say I was like, man, how could the universe do this to me? But I was just kind of like, I don't know. I just kind of had like a moment where I was like, you know what, man, life is tough. You can't just be like head in the clouds or the universe will help me. I just felt like I don't know, that was like too unrealistic. But at the end of the day, a lot of it was coming from because I was in very like high stress situations and I just like didn't know what to do. So I don't know, you kind of start like over rationalizing life, if that makes sense. Um, at least that was just like my experience. So for me, like being able to like, I mean, just fully kind of jump in and be like, no, the universe is going to provide. They're going to get me an Uber at 5:30 in the morning. I'm not stressed about it. And just kind of have that faith that I did like when I was a kid. It honestly was very freeing. And like I said, it really kind of put into perspective like how much unnecessary stress I'm adding into my life. Because like, even though like I have had stressful situations, obviously they worked out because I'm here. Like I'm still sitting here. So to a certain extent, like, yes, everything did work out. And I don't really have any reason to believe that things won't work out for the future, solely because I don't know what the future is. And that is enough. Like I can like, the realities of situations can make it harder to have that mindset 1,000%. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that it was helpful to me to just kind of assume that things are going to go to shit, or to like put too much pressure on myself to have to be the one to figure everything out, you know? So I feel like what I'm kind of realizing is that I need to like, even when I'm in these situations, remind myself and figure out what it's going to take for me to start getting into that habit of like, girl, take a deep breath. Does this feel like the end of the world? Yeah, but like, is it really? You know what I'm saying? Yes, this is a situation that is maybe going to require like things you aren't sure you can do, or just like if you aren't even sure how to tackle this situation, I feel like that can be very like intimidating as well. But even if that's the case, can you still say to yourself, it's worked out before, it will work out again? And I know that because, as I said, I wouldn't be sitting here. And not only that, you know, you've done the work to unlearn a lot of shit habits. And you know that you have done the work to like, I don't know a good word for it. Like, I feel like it's so cheesy to say this, but like you have the skills and the tools you need to tackle these situations. So it's like, when I start thinking about it like that, or just like reminding myself of that when I'm in these situations, they are going to become less stressful. It's going to become less like a heavy like brick on myself. So that's kind of what I mean when I say like, I think one of the things that I definitely want to start working on is just kind of like, am I going a little bit doomsday on myself without necessarily even realizing? Because I have been like, it's been a habit for me. It's been a pattern. Because even though I am sitting here today and things did work out in a sense, that doesn't mean it was all like flowers and rainbows. Like I still took my lumps from those situations. And I think that's the only thing that I was focusing on, being like, yeah, but this still happened and I still had to do this and this still isn't resolved. Like that type of thing. So I don't know. And I'm never like, I honestly am a very realistic person. I don't know if you can get that vibe. And I feel like sometimes people are surprised when I say that, but like, I am. I'm always thinking about possibilities. Like, I was going to say logistics. I'm so funny. I'm sad. I can't even say the words. Okay. Restart. I actually am a very realistic person. I always worry about like logistics and like how things are going to work out, whether that's like financially or time wise or my skill, or just like if it's like, is it a luck based thing? What research can I be doing? What data is there that's already out? So I'm actually a very like grounded person, even though I can still be very like, I genuinely still believe that the world is full of possibilities and anything is possible. But I believe that because I've got the data to back that bitch up. Um, so like I will be in these situations and I just automatically start thinking about like, okay, well, this happened in the past, and I know this happened to this person, and the study says, and like, again, like that doom spiral. So even though it is coming from a place of like, okay, Hannah, we got to be grounded, we have to think about this logically, I still feel like there is kind of a limit. There's a point where it's healthy and it's helping you make like grounded adult choices, and there's a point where it's like you're overthinking to the point of causing more stress. So I feel like, yeah, I'm just trying to find a balance between like my youth, you know, my 13-year-old self just believing that the universe was going to fix all of my problems and the more recent adult version of myself that is like, we got to put our boots to the ground, but we have the skills. We put in the work to develop these new habits and skills that are going to help us deal with these like situations. So I don't know. That was kind of like my takeaway, from my trip, is that I cannot be stressing myself out like this. Um, yeah, but that's what I'm working on. That's been my experience. I recommend travel in any form. Like even just day trips in other towns are still like it's good to have that experience and just to again know that there is more out there. You know, why not go and experience it? And then the other half too, you know, is the universe sending you signs that you don't know? I don't know. That, like I'm telling you, signs from the beyond, whether that's in life or in dreams, have been a huge part of like why I am where I am today. Because I felt like I always kind of had that like guidance of somebody just saying like, you're on the right track. Or maybe you need to work on this. Maybe you stop running from this, whatever that may be. So I don't know. If you are someone who kind of has a practice, stick with it. Maybe there's things you can do to try and deepen it. And if you aren't that type, could be fun to try, could be fun to start. And if not even necessarily in that sense, is there other places where you could be getting guidance or working to kind of have that reassurance for yourself? Some people like to write out like lists of their greatest qualities, and that's their reassurance that they're like good to go. You know, me, I like to see my butterflies. Okay. um, yeah. So I will see you guys next month, actually. This Friday, I have another video coming out. This one was actually supposed to come out last Friday, but we're here on Monday, and that's all that matters. So have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on Friday.